Yesterday, this is Saturday, Vatican City experienced a small earthquake. And no, I don't mean the physical earthquake, I mean metaphorical earthquake. You know, Pope Francis has been doing crazy things all year long, and yesterday he did something else that shook the fundaments of the Roman Church. Imagine that. He called to existence a new body, a new ministry or department in the Vatican that will be addressing the issues of the abuse of minors in the church. About time, isn't it? But to make things even more shaky, 5 out of 8 members, so majority, 5 out of 8, are lay people. Never before a majority of members on any Vatican group had lay people. Listen to that. 4 out of 8 are women. Unbelievable. Never, ever in 2,000 years of Catholic history did women have 50% of the vote on any Vatican institution whatsoever. But you know what? Who is better equipped to deal with that issue, if not mothers and grandmothers? Who can deal swiftly and the right way with those instances, if not our mothers, sisters, grandmothers? So Pope Francis gives us a lot of hope for a positive change, for improvement in the Church of Rome. Of course, there are those who are petrified by what he is doing. There are those who are saying, "Oh my God, the house is on fire." Not to mention any names, but one of our ex-archbishops, His Grace Raymond Cardinal Burke, actually has been very active lately, giving multiple interviews, right and left, trying to explain what Pope Francis really meant to say. This was not what you think, he said. Oh, no, there is no changes whatsoever coming our way. So he's been actively promoting against Pope Francis. Just a few days ago on EWTN, there was a live interview with Cardinal Burke when he was explaining that he was not demoted at all, that Pope did not take him down. Of course not. He just did not renew your contract for another 5 years. I mean, there are other cardinals as well. Cardinal Miller from Germany, who is trying to explain that there is no way the Pope can ever allow divorced Catholics to go to communion because this is divine law. And the Pope called for a synod on the family this September to discuss this very issue. So I'm thinking, why would the Pope ask to discuss this very issue if there is no change, no possibility of change whatsoever? There are people who are trying to backpedal as fast as possible and explain that this Pope really doesn't mean to say what he says. It reminds me of the disciple of Jesus who came to the well and noticed that Jesus is talking to a woman. And to make things worse, to a woman of ill repute. So they are shocked, they are scandalized, and they think to themselves, "What the hell are you doing?" They don't say this out loud. St. John says, None of them said it, but they all thought it. What the heck are you doing talking with her? It's almost like reading Cardinal Burke's interview that says, what the heck are you doing, Francis? This is not what we are supposed to do. This is not whom we are supposed to be seen with. Jews and Samaritans did not like each other. Some people can compare that situation to Poles and Russians. You know, when a Polish person has to go to, let's say, China, the most direct way is go through Russia, right? But we would choose to go to America, Alaska, and that way to avoid going through Russia. The same happened to the Jews. When Jews from Jerusalem had to go to Galilee, where Nazareth was, Samaria was in between. So they took a detour, making 20, 30 miles extra to avoid that area because we don't hang out together. So the very fact that Jesus is in this neighborhood is bad PR. It's not good. And then for a Jewish rabbi to talk to a single woman in public is a really, really bad PR. That's not what you want your bishop to be seen with. And again, good women don't hang out at the well at noontime. You see, in Middle East, every morning, women from the village go together to the well to get enough water for cooking, washing, all the chores for entire day. But if you are one of those women who sit by themselves at the cafeteria table, then you will not go with all the other women. If you have a reputation of having had 5 husbands, the other cool girls will not go to the well with you. And so, if you are one of these women, you go to the well at noontime when the hot and heat is unbearable and you know that nobody will be there. You won't be seen, nobody will make fun of you, you won't be ashamed. So imagine this woman's surprise when she arrives at the well, trying to be as inconspicuous as possible, and there is a rabbi, a teacher, sitting at the well. So she just wants to do her business as soon as possible and vanish, so that he won't tell her, go to confession, you sinful woman. But he asks her for water. Her, Samaritan woman of ill repute, for water. She has no idea what to say, how to react. What a beautiful encounter. And when disciples arrived, they, John says, think to themselves, what the heck are you doing? How will we deal with this bad public relations situation? Have to issue a statement or something. It was a pure coincidence. We did not intend to be seen with her. What the heck are you doing, Jesus? Do you want to get us in trouble? Do you want to get us on the front page of St. Louis Post-Dispatch again? We are making fun of the disciples, but how many times you and I have been in their shoes? When we think of people that are so drastically different from us that we cannot even imagine talking to them. When somebody has a very strong political opinion different from yours, you think that we have nothing in common. Why even bother? When you think that Obamacare comes from hell and the other person thinks that Obama hell comes from heaven, there is no common ground, right? Why bother? When you think that marriage equality is a gift from God, or that marriage equality is devil's invention, why bother talking? And there are many other issues that make us think of the other person as someone there is no point of meeting, someone that I will have nothing in common with. And that's when we turn to be these self-righteous disciples of Jesus. Why bother talking to that person? Why even attempt of having a civil dialogue with this person? Why? Because this is how we meet Jesus. When 2 or 3 come in my name, I will be there. And sometimes that 2 or 3 is someone you can't stand. Sometimes the 2 or 3 is someone that you wish could not vote coming election. And when you meet that person, when you meet that someone that you strongly disagree with, Jesus can be there. If you approach him, if you approach her with respect, with civility, when you believe that there can be truth found somewhere between your 2 positions, God can be there as well. Jesus can be encountered in those strange meetings when the rabbi meets a woman of ill repute at the well. When Pope Francis decides that 4 out of 8 members of a new ministry in the Vatican will be women for the first time ever. And one of them, by the way, is a victim of abuse herself. We do live in very exciting times. We do live in times when change is happening right in front of our eyes. But that change has to come from a dialogue. That change has to come when you encounter the other person with respect and dignity, and you invite Jesus to that particular encounter. And I am a man of hope, because what we do here at St. Stanislaus is exactly that thing. We come from very different paths. We come from very different neighborhoods. We come with very different political and other convictions. And yet, we, I dare say, love each other. We respect each other. We recognize the dignity in every person, even if we strongly disagree with that person. St. Paul, in the second reading, said, "We have hope because the love of God has been poured into our hearts, and hope does not disappoint." I hope for a better church. I hope for a better world because I have come to know you. I hope for a better community because I have come to respect you. And you have come to respect each other. We can be the beginning, we can be the future when we allow Jesus to come and be with us at the well, when we meet the other person, perhaps a woman, perhaps a man, perhaps someone you would otherwise never hang out with, just here at the church. Hope does not disappoint. And we, as Saint Stanislaus, need to bring that hope to others.